What makes this cosy hill town completely unique is that it has not one but two castles, and over the years has had three. It's also a favourite holiday spot, has a most unusual museum, and, believe it or not, was the inspiration for a video game. It's called Rataje, and it's on the river Sázava. This map shows you that the town is built along a ridge which plunges down on three sides to a bend in the river. You'll see how steep the streets are, and believe me, they are steep. This, of course, added a natural defence to the first two castles. This coat of arms represents two laurel branches, and it's the emblem of the lords of Lipa, who ruled the town from 1312 to 1463. It's now embedded in the wall around St Matthew's Church, but dates back to something much earlier than this. St Matthew's itself is a Baroque church from the 17th century. Next to the church is the primary school. What makes it different, however, is that it's also a Waldorf school. Here's the main street. The centre of town is a protected heritage zone with narrow cobbled streets, stone walls, and plenty of historic buildings. Some of those historic buildings are small hotels and places to stay. They show that the town was a favourite holiday venue in its heyday. What we don't see is the fantastic views over the river behind all these buildings. As you can see, they're now crying out for an entrepreneur and some tender loving care to restore them to their former glory and usefulness. This is one of the castles. It's actually a Renaissance Baroque chateau, right in the centre of town. It's built on the site of a much older fortress. As you'll see in a few moments, it houses the museum of the local area, which is called the Sázavou. The chateau was begun as a Renaissance residence in the 16th century by Ladislav of Malešice and was then reconstructed in the 17th century by the Tallenberg family. The chateau has 3 wings, but due to a lack of funds, one of the wings has still not been finished. Since 1933, the castle has been owned by the municipality, and until quite recently was a school. I'll bet your school didn't look anything like this. The castle is now undergoing renovation, but it's still a fully functioning museum with a pub and an exhibition of the video game I mentioned earlier called Kingdom Come: Deliverance. Believe it or not, that video game was modelled on this town in its medieval form. The museum is on the first floor of the castle, and it's got some amazing wooden carvings. And here is the fire engine. The museum focuses on life over the past 150 years, but it has the most amazing, extensive collection of dolls and prams. I didn't know there were so many in the world. One of the rooms can be hired for ceremonies, so if you're thinking of getting married, this is a place to consider. Walking out of the main archway into town, you'll find the cinema, the kino. They don't build them like this anymore. And so we come to the remains of the first castle, known as Castle Perched. The tower is all that remains. This was a Gothic fortress, completely unassailable, perched on a rocky promontory above the river. It dates back to the 14th century and is one of the oldest preserved castle buildings in the region. As you can see, the roof is being rebuilt. Today, it houses a parish office and a belfry. This archway is one of the remaining parts of the wall which originally surrounded the whole town, including this fortress and the earlier castle which stood where the current chateau stands today. Until 1890, there were two gates in the whole wall. The so-called upper gate, behind which a bridge led over a deep moat, and this one. This is the lower gate, which stands right by Perched fortress. Today, the town is known for being a holiday destination. Down by the river, there's a campsite right on the banks of the beautiful Sázava. As you can see, there's nothing so nice as messing about on the river. Well, that is, of course, unless you're a railway buff. The town has 2 stations, almost next to each other. If you come through the tunnel from Perched, some trains will take the left fork and others will take the right. Just like life, the path divides. If you look carefully as you leave town, you'll spot this memorial. Concealed behind some trees and by the lake, it invites us to think of the fallen, people from this town who were killed in the world wars and under communism. The monument, its architecture and its message are both striking and sobering, as, in this way, is this town. It's a wonderfully well-kept Bohemian secret.